the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment. Whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me.
This place is cursed. Cursed.
It's got a death curse.
He wants you too, Malachi.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster. I can't stand it.
Get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
Hi, this is Danielle Harris, and you're watching Death Curse Society.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's another edition of Death Curse Society's Monday Maniacs. Hope everybody is having a great day, had a good weekend, is ready for the week ahead, and we've got a heavy-duty fucking topic to tackle tonight. When we tossed this out last week, we did not realize how much of a nightmare this was actually going to be. But bear with us. We're going to try to get through it. We're going to try to do a tier ranking of all the villains, well, not all the villains, but our top tiers of the villains in horror. And Ziggy, Colonel, how you guys doing today? Did this throw some curveballs at you, Colonel? I'll start with you on that.
Yeah, because I had like 3 different lists made today, and unfortunately it was the midnight hour, and I had to turn in my final list. I still don't stand 100% behind it, but god damn it, I'm going to make it sound like I do. This is a lot.
There's so much to choose from, and one of the things that I was trying to get us to nail down were some like parameters to put around it, but we decided to just keep it loose and no parameters, right, Ziggy?
Well,
you
right.
fucked this up, right?
No. Don't hang this all on me. I'm just saying this. I said we're overthinking it too much. It's going to not be fun if we try to make it and pigeonhole everything into these things. What we have here is the first kind of tiered list. This is going to exist, and we look to do this maybe a couple of times a year, maybe just once a year, and like those premier soccer leagues, people could get bumped or moved up to different tiers. We don't really know yet. It all depends on their performances outside of here in the future, so based on where they're at now. Because some of these guys, some of these killers and villains had one movie, but doesn't mean their impact was any less appealing or impactful. So that's where it all is going to vary from guy to guy here. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but this should be interesting as fuck. And we're going to be looking to you guys to help us settle any tiebreakers or arguments that we might be going with. Yeah.
But I have to admit, I think we came up with a better idea than this one last night.
We did, but it was too late.
Okay.
But stick around for that.
Stick around to 2023, folks. It's coming.
We'll roll that one. We'll get that one cooked a little bit better, and I think this even could evolve into that. We'll see.
The other idea is something that we've been talking about. We've been tossing around a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to give a little behind the scenes here. It wasn't until like Friday, I think, that we finally got. We talked about doing this on Tuesday, right? Right after the live thing.
Yeah.
And then Friday we finally get, let's do that, and then we're like, all right, yeah, we're stuck to that. We're going to do that. And then Sunday night, about 7? It was like, why don't we do this? And I'm like, we got less than 24 hours to go. No, we're not changing the whole fucking rules right now.
It was more or less his crank had put hours in on graphics for this particular setup. But the other setup, I believe, is better, would be more fun and a little more appropriate for this time of year. But it doesn't matter because, like I said, we'll cook this up and get it better. And then we'll add those elements to it. And I think the long run will be a better payoff for it. So bear with us for this year.
Yeah, this is a trial run on this one.
Right.
But, yeah. Looks like most of the crew is here. Tyrone's here. Yeah, I think a couple people have been having a bad Monday. It says Monday is calling. I hope we can help ease that. Adam's here. Dave's here. Lorena. FaZe. Tanya. Orlando's here from the set of Camp Pleasant Lake.
That's right.
In California. I saw your camp T-shirt as a counselor. I'm anxious to see some more of those behind-the-scenes photos.
I'm going to need one of those shirts, I think. Yeah.
I know one thing, I'm sorry, but every time Orlando's on set in a different state, I'm always going to think of the scene from Forrest Gump. There's Tex from Cleveland, like, hey, it's Orlando from California. I know he's not from California, but that just popped in my head as soon as I seen that comment.
It is an old radio thing, yeah.
Sorry, Orlando.
All right, let's go out to Orlando in California.
Exactly, but in all seriousness, support local horror. Anything we can do to get this out there for you, we will do.
That's right. Start talking to the cast members now, and, you can get them on your podcast, too. We can get them on here. So.
That's right.
Tarek says, see, there's the other one. It's been a Monday. Let the healing begin.
Oh, baby.
Oh, man, we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
And I got a very, very interesting and positive message from him. I got him kind of looking into some things to help us grow the brand a little bit, and he's got some ideas. So he's going to be offering, he's not going to be taking time off his regular fucking job to carry us through this, but he has got some ideas and some tips that maybe we can focus on. So we'll look into that a little bit later. So Tarek, thanks in advance, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that after this marathon.
I know, I just wanted to mention it because I thought it was really fucking cool of him to do that.
All right. Megan's here, Patricia's here, S. Michael is here. Yeah, see, he says, I don't know if I can handle tonight's topic. I think I'm gonna hurl. Yeah.
We all may hurl before this shit is done, and this may be the last Death Curse Society ever because we may not be friends after this shit tonight. I don't know what's going to happen.
I was going to be honest with you guys. You know what's in this cup tonight? Tea, because I have a feeling I'm going to be going.
Sipping your tea?
One of these fucking lists.
Oh, God. Luke is here. And that looks like everybody that I can mention right now. One last piece of business before we move on, folks, is thanks to our members. You can become a member by checking out deathcursesociety.com and going to the join page. Our final girls are Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. Our Crazy Ralph is Raymond. And our camp counselors are Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave.
Well, now I'm start doing a fucking head nod instead of fist bumps, asshole. Thanks.
What?
You can't do this anymore? You don't feel
bumps anymore.
You don't feel good doing that?
Just
Yeah,
do the
we
head
called
nod.
you out. We called you out for jerking off the
I'm
members.
still doing this shit. I'm still going to... I'll bring it back.
And I don't know if she's watching or not. I hope she is. But Kiara, happy 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready to start this? Because it's...
Yeah.
This is madness.
It's time.
Oh, my God.
Fuck, this is going to be a disaster.
This may suck, completely suck. You may not. Nobody may agree with anything you say here.
I don't think it's going to be
This may suck.
I
All right.
just don't think we're going to come up with a list.
Here's the thing, guys. It started out great because we were able to do one thing right out of the bat, and that was we decided to obviously create a Legends tier. So that was pretty easy, we thought, and it just came down to this. You know, this is the beginning. This is the top. If you were looking at a pyramid, this is the top of the pyramid, and then we're gonna move down and add an extra character to each tier. So our Legends tier list starts pretty simply with the man himself, Jason Voorhees. 12 movies, a TV series, comic books, novels. He covers it all. Debatably the leader in the kill list, but
Debatable.
who knows? Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily really matter. It's just more what you like. So, next up in our Legends tier, number 2, Michael Myers from Halloween. Again, plenty of movies, no series yet. You know, just
Give it time.
overall.
Yeah.
And Halloween was originally kind of known as starting that slasher trend that came about in the 80s. Now, was he the first slasher? Arguably, no. But
No.
we can digress about that.
Yeah.
Next up in our Legends tier, of course, we got to throw the Dream Master some love. Freddy, you know the rest. And we have one more for our Legends tier. So, that would be Leatherface. We opted for Leatherface out of the possible options there. Now, we know you guys are maybe thinking somebody else or, you know, whatever. But maybe that person or that character will be included later on. Who knows? Here we go. Here's a quick question for us real quick. Luke asks, couldn't the villain also be someone like Dr. Cruz or Charles from Jason Takes Vancouver? Yes.
I would assume so. I didn't look at it like that. But
Neither did I. I'll be honest and upfront. I mean, villains are villains, but I think they had to be a little more sinister or, you know, just kind of more into the dark side of things more than Cruz was. He was more fascinated by the power that Tina had, and so to me, I didn't do anything like that. But well, then again, yes, I did. There is one down on one of my tiers that I don't know if either one of you caught. So we'll see.
Well, if you didn't explain it to me, I hope I got the right graphic.
Well, it's you know who it is. We've talked about it before.
I think so.
Yeah, if you put that name in the list,
for Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, Red Hat Kid. He is the number one on my tier A. No, man.
Tier A. No.
Fuck that guy.
All right. So, guys, would you agree that we chose these kind of based on just overall popularity, number of films, number of kills, just
Pretty much.
the pop culture icons? You can think of these as the icons, right, Colonel?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is universal. I mean, yeah, people could say, well, so-and-so doesn't belong there, blah, blah, blah. This is pretty universal. It's pretty standard. Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore.
You go to Fear Halloween, this is the shit you see. All right? That tells you all you need to know. Mainstream, everybody knows them. Boom.
Right. Now, Ziggy, you agree with that? And you mentioned it. This would be the Mount Rushmore of horror characters.
Yes, and Land says it even better. We'll go to thrash metal and call them the Big Four. I love it. That is perfect. You know, Luke says the same thing. Legends are legends. They automatically get their status on the list. Exactly what we were thinking, and that's why we did it like this. So,
yep.
Yes,
and
I do agree.
See,
100%.
we already have a viewer that's arguing even our top four. S. Michael says, I'd put Pinhead over Leatherface.
Yeah, but
why did you choose not to put Pinhead over Leatherface? Let's just each answer that. Ziggy.
Leatherface is, to me, one of the cornerstones of the whole genre. He has to be, and I think all four of these guys are the four corners. Pinhead, you want to call him maybe the second foundation, maybe the second tier level. You know, I don't want to put it that way, but I mean, to me, just different. He came a little later than the rest of them, you know, and everyone was pretty much established. So Pinhead, he's there, man, but he's not the legend yet.
Right. Colonel, you agree with that?
Yes, but it's a different standards. Yes, Pinhead is fucking Pinhead. But when you have your main four, like I said, I have to go with Leatherface. I mean, before Freddy, before Jason, before Michael, you had Leatherface and arguably Billy from Black Christmas. That alone, just being the pioneer, Leatherface gets in.
Yeah. That was kind of my argument for putting Leatherface on there, was Leatherface was there far before these other three. Maybe not far before, but 4 years at least before. And, you know, then you have the ones that you just mentioned, like Billy and even the Peeping Tom character. You know,
Prowler, yeah, you know, I mean, it's all that shit.
Not quite so much. Leatherface kind of set a new standard at that time for just greasy underground filmmaking that ended up becoming a franchise.
Tarek says Leatherface is Anthrax.
There you go.
And the metalheads are laughing right now.
Yeah. Both of them. All right. Damn. All right, so those are the top. That's the top tier right there. The Legends tier. Jason, Michael, Freddy, Leatherface. Those we actually agree on.
That's universal for the three of us, so yes.
All right. So moving on, what we're going to do is each of us is going to go through our tier list, and the rest of the way, we just have A tier, B tier, C tier. You can label them whatever you want: elite, you know, great, growing, whatever. But we just went A, B, C. Now, so, and it looks like I drew the short straw. So I get to go first on this. I'm going to try to be as
long-winded as possible.
No, I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible, but I keep seeing, what's funny is you guys are jumping all over my list before I even fucking start showing it. I keep seeing comments about some stuff, and let's just get into it. So, Red Crank's tier list, right here. Starting off with, God damn it, Joseph. Norman Bates. Now, this would be arguably my first slasher. Or the first slasher in my eyes. Even though Peeping Tom came out shortly before Psycho did, Peeping Tom didn't necessarily have these slasher aspects of what the movies would become later. Psycho did. Psycho had those aspects in it. And yeah, see? Oh, this comment popped up before I even showed my list or started. Joseph says, none of these four would be standing without Norman Bates. I've always seen him as the granddad of horror. Yes. So that's why he is my number one on the A tier. We didn't even discuss him for the Legends tier. But in later years, he might move up, because we may add a fifth legend. So, we may, as we grow. Let's see. Next for me, I hope these don't jump ahead too much. I put Hannibal Lecter on there. And the reason I put Hannibal in the A tier is because not only multiple movies, including remakes, prequels, started with books, and it was just a great character, and has a pretty decent, there's a great subplot behind him, along with a decent kill list. Aha! Eric brought something up I want to throw in. What about 13 Women, the 1930s slasher? Yes. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I read about this the other day while we were doing research for this. I haven't seen this one. I'm looking for it. I am going to watch it. But as of my opinion right now, as uninformed as it may be, because I haven't seen this, I would still consider Psycho as the first slasher. If 13 Women has those elements in it, I'll reconsider it. But thank you, Eric, for bringing that up.
The 30s is that's a while ago, man. But I would even say, you could think Blood Feast from, what was that, 60s, or was that the 50s even when they made that nonsense? And
60s.
Yeah, 60s, I think.
Mid 60s, and that one was, I think that did predate Psycho, didn't it? Maybe not.
I could be wrong.
No,
but this is a lot of this is a popularity contest in our own opinion. You're going to see as these lists. I'm looking at Crank's list. I'm saying, okay, I took a drastically different approach to this. So this is going to be
You even mentioned it at the beginning. You were like, we don't need to overthink this. We just need to do it. We just need to put some names out there and blah blah blah. No, you've known me now for like 6 fucking years. You know I overthink everything.
That's fine, but
you guys were laughing at me when you were here in my place, and I was like, hey, I gotta go run some errands, and I'm standing at the door going, all right, post office smokes gas gear house. Post office smokes gas gear house. Post office smokes gas gear house. And you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just trying to remember the map in my head where I need to go. And you guys are both just shaking your head at me like, motherfucker, you overthink everything. Yes, I do. I overthink everything. I admit it.
That's a little different, but I mean, this particular thing, it was just like, look, you're like, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's continue. Yes,
there's a lot. So
this is tier A. There's 3 tiers.
This is tier A. Next, Billy from Black Christmas. Again, mostly because he kind of reestablished what the slasher genre would become in the 80s, well before Halloween or Friday or any of those. So, next, Damien Thorne. Yes, I threw a kid in there. But that kid grew up and was a nightmare for the adults in his life. And how do you not have someone that is the literal devil somewhere in your tier list? All right. Next and final for me for the A tier, Chucky. And I debated this for a long fucking time. And the reason I stuck Chucky up there, honestly, is because the series from last year elevated that story back into what I think would be considered A tier for me. That's my A tier list. Go ahead and argue it with me all you want. We don't have time. But I will try to watch the comments as much as I can. So, and Tarek says, a lot of this list, or a list like this, is totally dependent on personal interpretation of the topic. It makes it great because the lists are certainly going to be way different.
Oh, yes, shit.
When we have like a year,
how different these are.
Oh, so. Yeah. When we have a year, we're pigeonholed to choose from like 40 movies, so we're going to have a lot of overlap there. This one, barely any overlap. And S. Michael says, Omen's great, but not really a slasher. We're not just doing slashers, though.
We kind of adapted it to horror villains, horror
Keep that in
baddies, that kind of thing, because we had to, just to get enough names into it.
We decided to say, you know what? Let's throw a wrench in this whole fucking thing and open Pandora's box and see what happens.
You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, you know.
I'll be honest with you guys. Be warned, there are objects on list coming up.
It's
not
fine.
Just characters.
Like I said, we always say there's no wrong answers when we do these fucking things. So I can imagine what you might have come up with, but
hold on.
We'll see. Yeah, get your tea out there, Colonel. I hear you. We need a little tea sipping music.
We do need some.
I'll have it ready next time, mate.
All right. Patricia says, Crank, I'm disappointed that the killer designer jeans from Slacks is not on your list. First off, you haven't seen my entire list, and secondly, fuck you, Patricia.
We all know that's not on your list.
I just thought of a handful of other things when she said that. See, I rushed and I wanted to give Crank a little leg room to get some graphics together, so I turned my shit in last night, and then all night long sat there and went, got that one. Fuck,
I was gonna give you a chance to change it today, but then I was like, nope, that would take another 4 hours.
It's fine. I'll stand by it. And again, it's an evolving list. It can change next year.
All right. So there we go. That's my A tier. Moving on to the B tier, the B team. Starting off with Candyman. Candyman was the one that I was kind of debating with Chucky, and Chucky has kind of a broader film series, now the TV series, and I think that TV series helped elevate him past what Candyman has done with their 4 total movies so far. So, although I do love Jordan Peele, let me rephrase that. I like Jordan Peele's version of what he did, but I think what the Sci-Fi USA Chucky series is doing is wonderful. So, Candyman kicks off the B tour. Next up is Pinhead. He is right there too. Clive Barker created one of the darkest, most fucked up creatures of all time with this, and played elegantly by Doug Bradley. Can't get any better. What are you smiling at?
Our astute audience is just amusing me. Dave says, nice. You said give Crank more leg room after the Slacks comment. Hey. That's why we're in the big chairs here tonight.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Dave. God damn it, you guys. Next up on the B tier for me is The Tall Man. The Tall Man was one of those guys that freaked me out when I was younger. The rest of them, not so much. But I saw The Tall Man and that flying sphere. God damn it, those things fucked me up for years when I was younger. Next up for me on the B tier is Jack Torrance. Now, when I say Jack Torrance, I'm also including the Spirits of the Overlook Hotel. I want to make that clear, because I know Jack Torrance is not just one person after he has been taken over, if you know what I mean. So, I included this because, you guys know it's my fucking favorite top movie. I'm kind of shocked that neither of these guys are flipping out that this wasn't on my A tier, but no.
We will after everybody has their list and gets their say.
One movie, 2 movies that, arguably you could say he's been in. One of the major books from my childhood. So, yeah, there you go. Jack Torrance. Next in the B tier, Angela Baker. I included this one just because of the groundbreaking role and performance that it was. Felissa, as a youngster, pulls this character off great. As, for a movie what is this, 82, 83? Isn't that when Sleepaway Camp came out?
Yeah, I'll let you know in just
somewhere in there.
What? Yeah.
It was kind of groundbreaking deal
Phase
to
three.
have a transgender character as your villain, or even included at all, and to do that full reveal, such a shock. So that's why she's in my B tier. Next, a big curveball, I know, but again, yeah.
No, you just
Lestat
reminded me of somebody that's major that I can't believe I've forgotten.
Lestat de Lioncourt from originally from Interview with a Vampire, but also carries on through a lot of the Vampire Chronicle books from Anne Rice.
I hate this.
I see. This is fucked up, isn't it? It's fucked up. I included him because I love this character. I wish the Queen of the Damned movie would have done as good a job with that character as Tom Cruise did in Interview with a Vampire. Maybe we would have had more movies from this. And I'm kind of including the literary aspects of this as well, because this character is in 8 books now, something like that. And we got the new series coming from AMC soon. I'm really excited about. There's the B tier. That's
Nice.
why.
Derek says, is it true that the actor or writer hated that he was called Pinhead by fans? It's actually, yes, he got the name on set. Clive Barker hated it because he's the Hell Priest. And he's, but Pinhead was, and somehow it got out, and oh boy, did it stick.
Pinhead was catchier.
Yep, Peter Anthony. What's up, Peter?
Hey, what's up, Peter?
Man is on definitely a different level of fear. 100% agree. Orlando's got some choices up here. Then S. Michael, this makes me wish there was a video game where these fuckers could all fight each other for the title. And Peter says, there is, Michael. S. Michael, Terradrome. I remember playing this on the PC. It is pretty crazy, too. It's Mortal Kombat with the fellas. Okay.
Don't do the next one.
I won't. Holy shit. Oh, there. I have to now. Yep, I just saw it.
God damn it.
Peter says Lestat.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yes, Lestat. Fuck you. It's my list. It's my list, Peter. You make your own goddamn tier list.
I love it, man.
All right. Still got the C tier to get through, so let me knock that out real quick so you guys can get started. Sure. C tier, for me, starts with Patrick Bateman. One of the more modern, I guess you could say. Just crazy psychotic killer. Also, fantastically played. Just all around kick-ass character. Weird movie. Not a it's a great movie. But yeah, Patrick Bateman kicks off my C tier. Next for me is The Creeper. Oh. And The Creeper barely made my list, but he's in there. I liked the first couple of movies. I did not like the third one. I'm waiting for the fourth one to see what happens.
You don't
Do
want
what?
to watch a movie about, the third one's the best one. You didn't want to watch a movie about a fucking car?
No, I did not.
How's the tea, Colonel?
Yeah, how's that tea, Colonel? All right. Next for me on this list, John Kramer or Jigsaw from the Saw series. Again, great character, well-written character, fantastically played by Tobin Bell. Next, gotta keep moving, guys. Art the Clown barely made my C tier list, but he did make it in there. You know the rest. You know the story there. Next for me, yes, another curveball. I'm throwing Pearl in this fucking C tier list, and I'll tell you why. I love the fact that in X, we see her at the end of her life. And we don't know, we only know how many people she killed in X. But we don't know how many people she killed throughout her life. I think this chick is going to come up with a staggering kill count between, the 1930s that Pearl is taking place, and
the 70s.
The 70s when X happened. So
I thought it was taking place after World War I, like 1918 or some shit.
Is it that far back? I can't remember right now, but god damn it, her character and her portrayal by Mia Goth impressed me so much. I wanted to include her. I think I have another curveball coming your way. I can't remember right this second, but it may be the next one. Billy Chapman. Yeah. Creepy fucking Santa Claus? Yeah. Almost.
Number 6.
Number 6. There you go. That's what you got. Billy Chapman, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Weird backstory. Great kills. Fucked up movie. Yeah. There you go. And finally, to wrap up my C tier, Ghostface. Yes. Ghostface literally barely stuck in. And the only reason I stuck him in is because if one of us didn't, like, the entire internet would be attacking us for the rest of days. So, there's my final C tier.
Patricia says, garbage day! Now, were you quoting Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, or are you just commenting on Crank's list?
Fuck you, Ziggy!
No, you haven't heard my list yet. Trust me, that garbage day comment will probably be from me.
Crank. There you go.
Any comments there? Colonel.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good because we have 2 more lists to go through. Then I would like to debate. But like right now, I'm being nice. I'm being civil.
He's drinking his tea.
I'm drinking
That's
my tea.
why I'm
silently
shocked.
judging you till these lists are over, and we can judge each other.
Hang on a second here.
All right. Yep. Here's a good comment. Joseph says, "Nice list. I agree with every person you put up there, but where's Victor Crowley? Didn't make my cut."
Ooh,
Joseph,
little
did
tea
not
drinking
make my
music
cut.
for Colonel.
Go ahead, sip that fucking tea. Okay, that's enough. Luke says the creeper and the director are both C tier villains. Yeah. Damn.
You know what? Hey, Luke. All right, buddy. I like you, man.
You can barely hear that. So.
I know.
Tarek says, I'm quietly wishing the Xenomorph to appear. I debated it, but I did not include that. I don't know why, but it probably should be in my C tier, at least, maybe B tier. But Eric says, David from Lost Boys. Thought about that too, but again, basically one movie, not as much as I love that movie, not enough to stand out with my list, at least.
Hey, man. There's no wrong answers here. Or are there?
Yep. All right. So that is my list. I guess we move on to
the Colonel 2.
All right.
Scooby-Dooby-Doop-Doop.
So, again, this is my third list. And the route I took with my third list was, fuck it. I'm going to put my own personal preferences on everything. My first 2 are popularity, so on and so forth, where I thought, you people might put them on the list. So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not making a Colonel's tier list. I'm making the tier list I think of everybody else's. So, curveballs indeed. So let's go ahead and knock it out the park with the A tier. In no particular order, just the way I sent them to Crank. We have Pinhead. It's fucking Pinhead, okay? He has to be up there. Like, so he's debatable for one of the tops, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Such a memorable character. Fucking gotta love the gore. Hellraiser. I mean, fuck, man. And this dude's quotes. I mean, we can quote this guy for fucking days, okay? From the first 4 movies. And please, Hulu, give me a good one. Because other than Hellraiser Judgment, which, if you haven't seen it, don't shit on it. Watch it with an open mind. That's actually an okay sequel compared to the rest of them. But he did a great job, but he doesn't count. Doug Bradley all day. It's Pinhead. Coming in, Tall Man. How is the Foundation arguably a better franchise than Nightmare on Elm Street? Me and Zach talked about this plenty of times, how we agree with this. Yeah. And dare I say it, a franchise handled better than Halloween. That is debatable, because let's be honest, the The Phantasm series is pretty solid all the way through, except for Ravager. Halloween's a fucking mess. Like, you got 4 different timelines. You pick which one you want to watch. And this one's for you, Joseph, because I really thought this guy was going to hit the top. But he just didn't quite do it in the mainstream. Victor Crowley. What more could you want out of the Hatchet series? You got a great slasher. You got over-the-top kills. Terrible acting, but in a fucking great way. I just really... The horror community, we love Victor Crowley. We think he's the best slasher from the 2000s. Fucking great. Just never quite hit the mainstream like I really hoped he would. But then again, he kind of did because we have NECA toys of him. This one, I don't know what Crank has because I told him one thing, but I was like, well, if I can only pick one, we'll do this one. So I don't know what's going to show up. I'm just going to say the Universal Monsters. Hey, I got them all. All right.
Why not? Why not, man?
Colonel, the Universal Monsters. If it wasn't for the fucking Universal Monsters, none of this would be. You have to have them on your list and at the A tier for me. People put them at the C, D, E, whatever. I get it. They're old. You know, it's a lot of complaints. They're short. They're not that good. Fuck you. They're fucking awesome. I love the gothic feel to these.
Hold on a second. So I skipped over them just because I didn't think we were going to be grouping them all into one like that. That's a great idea.
Oh, no. It has like 2 groups. That's the first one.
Yeah.
And rounding out my A tier, I really debated with this. I had a character, but then I changed it to an object. Yes, that was me. The Necronomicon.
Ah.
I was like hinting at it all day, but I'm like, look, I love the Evil Dead franchise. It's one of the better franchises in horror, in my opinion. That damn Necronomicon, you can't have all that evil without the Necronomicon. You can sip your Mountain Dew and your fucking Mountain Dew or whatever the fuck you drink. I'll sip my tea, you asshole. Because the Necronomicon is the catalyst to all that evil. Without the Necronomicon, it does not exist.
Try not to laugh when I'm sipping my tea. You almost made me spew all over my fucking screen here.
Derek says, well, it's got a face. Good enough.
You goddamn right. Coming in with the B tier. I'm sorry, I got tea in my mustache. Again, man, when I think of zombies, the definitive look for a zombie for me is Flyboy. Boom. The elevator's open. That, to me, that's the universal thought when you think zombies. I was playing with the idea of Bub, maybe even Tar Man, but for me personally, it's Flyboy. So he's my B tier because he represents all zombies. All right. I know you're probably thinking. I even thought of the zombie from fucking Zombie. All right, but I thought of him. But he's like that, in and out, in and out.
It's your list, dude. I'm not going to comment. I'm sorry.
All right. No, you're fine.
BK says, it feels like the Colonel wants to fight.
I fucking do. And as Michael brings up another point I was going to mention, we'll go back to the Necronomicon. Yes, Jason Goes to Hell on the list, too, for the Necronomicon. So on him, we wouldn't have Jason Voorhees.
Yep.
According to Adam Marcus, I love Adam, but I disagree. But
I called him out. Did you see that a couple of weeks ago? I said, listen, we're going to have it out on the show once and for all, this Deadite Jason thing, and he gave me the heart, man, so I think he'd be down.
I'm sure he would be.
We're going to have to do it. Point by point.
Right. And, again, we all know I'm considerably younger than these two, not really. But there's about a 10-year gap. So they're like, man, 90s horror sucks. 90s horror is what I grew up on. And there were 2 characters, actually I have them back to back, to me, that defined 90s horror and my childhood. The Djinn from Wishmaster.
Ah, okay.
Dude, these movies were fucking mind-blowing when they came out for me.
There's a curveball.
Yeah, this came out, I was 12. Like, I was a sponge soaking this shit up. And the Djinn, I was like, oh, yeah. So, And right after that, ain't no point. I gave the real name. I'm going to give the name of the movie. Unfortunately, with the sequel, whatever, I had to put his real name, but we all know it, the Candyman. He's not the only Candyman anymore, but
right.
Daniel Robitaille.
Yeah, part 2 is a very, very underrated sequel. I think I won't say it's a great movie, but it's a pretty good fucking sequel. I like the backstory to the Candyman, even though, yeah, whatever.
Really?
Next one coming up is Frank Zito.
Yes.
A little surprising that he's as high on my list, even for me. But with my choice for him, it's like this movie came out in 1980. This is grimy fucking New York. This is legit New York, man. I mean, we're probably just a couple years away from Summer of Sam and everything else. Like, this guy could be real. This guy could have been real. Next up, kind of going back to the, granted it's late 80s, but we'll still say 90 horror, Pumpkinhead. Man, Pumpkinhead freaked me the fuck out when I was a kid. Freaked me the fuck out. I'm sure he's not on anybody else's list. That's for you, S. Michael. And coming up, rounding out the B tier. I already know it's A tier, but I didn't really know what to call it. So I just said The Thing. John Gardner's A Thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That thing could be anything, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm kind of surprised Frank didn't have it on his list, but I'm not either. I'm holding out high hopes for Zag on his. And this is where it gets fun, and I'm going to fly right through it.
Hold on. Let me kind of answer that, because I pretty much still stuck with slashers as much as I could.
Yeah.
Throughout most of my list. I mean, I know there are a couple that are questionable, but since we had talked about doing slashers, I really didn't adjust my list too much after the rules got switched 18 hours ago.
Yeah, I completely did. I said, fuck it. We're opening this box. I'm going to fucking go all out.
I don't think I put any monsters on mine.
See? Zach, you're the one that said, no, put whatever. Let's do whatever.
I did. No. Yes, there is something. I do have one curveball. Yes, I do.
So I went with fucking everything. That's...
One more thing before you move on here. Orlando says, now the Colonel mentions which Wishmaster Andrew Devoff, who played the Jinn, has been added to the Camp Pleasant Lake cast.
Hey!
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's a good get, man.
And Tarek says, I mean, if you're going to throw a fucking book on your A tier, all bets are off.
I agree.
Like, you say that all you want. That book launched a fucking franchise. You guys suck my dick.
Here's to you, Tarek.
Yes,
so,
Tarek. Bottoms up, buddy.
All right, so fuck you guys, because we said C list. I said fuck you. I will make a C fucking list, literally. So this is where it gets fucking crazy, because I said fuck it. I'm gonna put the cheesiest fucking things I could think of at the very bottom. Because let's be honest, most horror is just cheese fucking filled. So kicking off the C tier, I have the Killer Clowns from Outer Space Crew.
That's good. That's good. It totally fits. What? That's great.
It works. It works.
Oh no! Before I get any further, my very last one was going to be Tom Atkins for slaying so much pussy. So I had to take him off the list.
Yeah, you don't want it. He might come after you, man, if you go public with that one.
I know. So I did kind of go public with it, but Tom Atkins did not make my list for the C tier. Again, this is where Zag might.
Oh God! What Dave says? Oh God! Here we go.
Here we fucking go. You are getting fucking C list material here, and even C list, because this is a really great fucking movie, a really great fucking character coming up next. Unfortunately, he only had one movie, but it's a comedy horror, so he kind of falls in with the C tier. Leslie Vernon. Character should be taken seriously, but the movie's fucking funny.
Half of it.
Yeah. Since it's a horror comedy, Leslie Vernon gets thrown in the C when honestly he should probably be a B. Coming up, Crank's favorite, and I kind of just threw them on here to piss Crank off, to be honest with you. Another group of killers, legends, you might say. The Boogeyman, Hollow Jack, and Candy Corn Scarecrow from the barn.
So glad I reminded you of that.
I am too. Because you know what? I'm literally going to put this on here just to fucking rub Crank the wrong fucking way. Yes, I wasted a spot on my tier 4. Even though this is a movie I enjoy very much, I'm a little worried about part 2, because I have not heard very many good reviews about it. But we'll see, which is coming out later in October. I plan on ordering it, and I'll probably do a review off of the main show because I know we're not going to cover it. Next on my list, oh, wait a minute.
Greetings from across the pond.
Hello,
Hello,
Eileen.
fast one at work again. Thanks for stopping in, of course. All the way from London.
Indeed. Thank you for stopping by. Coming up next, I have Alimer from Brain Damage. Who wouldn't want a parasite that makes you trip balls? All right, heads up, everything flickered. I do have storms in the area, so I
Me
should.
too.
Again, who doesn't want a parasite that makes you trip balls, man? So what? You get questioned about murders a few days later. Who cares? It's fucking awesome. Fucking Alimer is the shit. Coming in after that, we have Art the Clown. Love the gore. He's funny. Still with Crank, though. Not a story. Can't bring him above the C list. But we'll see what happens after part 2. He might move up, but right now, there's no backstory. There's no nothing. He's on the C.
You're dead to me, Colonel.
All right, I'm dead to you. Wait till you hear these two. I have, because I don't really have a name for it, I was called the Black Blob from the Raft
Jesus
from Creepshow
Christ.
2.
Come.
This scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid, dude. Like, these people just chilling on the fucking raft and this shit gets to them. That scared the fuck out of me. Like, literally, that is why this is on my list. The Blob, yeah, that remains cool. I didn't see that until I was much older. This is one of my earlier horror memories, and I was scared shitless watching this. And then last but not least, because I need to figure out what's going on over here. I got to go try to fix something. Again, cheesy as shit. The way I roll. The Creeps from Night of the Creeps. Yes, I'm not talking the zombies. I'm talking about those little fucking worms.
You know, I'd almost go with you on that if you would name the serial killer that took out the girl back in the day when he was alive, and then of course his corpse rises later. But he was a serial killer.
His corpse gets dispatched pretty fucking quickly.
It does.
That's why I'm going with the Creeps. I'm going with the Wormies.
There you go. You missed one, Colonel. What about Wolfman from Monster Squad, huh? Huh?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. The Monster Squad had to get booted off the list. Barry, you couldn't lump them in with the Universal Monsters. Granted, they're not the Universal Monsters because he would have got sued. And I had to have one Fred Decker movie in here, so then again, there's the Creeps. Night of the Creeps. Since I didn't put in the Monster Squad.
Well, there's always this.
There it is.
Tarek says, wow, Colonel's whole C tier is literally alt-titled, Shit I Haven't Seen. Say what you want. I guess I'm uncultured swine.
There's definitely need to see Terrifier and Brain Damage. The Barn you can skip. Honestly, I suggest the rest of them.
Black Blob? Represent.
That's right.
Goddamn right. I thought outside the fucking box.
And Lorena says, Elmer and the Creeps. That would be a good band name.
It would be. I'm telling you, you open this shit up, I said, fuck it. All right, let's do this.
Motherfucker. Well, look at that, man. That's, yeah, I gotta give it to you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank
And
you.
one comment from FaZe. Don't worry, Xenomorph. I'm sure one of these nerds put you on their list.
Yeah.
I want to keep listening. I want to go figure out something real quick.
Okay. Dave says, Colonel really did his homework. Really? No. The bullshit. No. Dude, that was like waiting until the last fucking minute to turn in a paper.
Yeah, and I turned in a fucking paper from the heart.
Go take care of your troubles. Now, damn good list there, Colonel, from Lorena.
the Colonel too. Yeah.
All right. Ziggy, you ready?
Oh my God, man! Now the pressure's on. I'll just listen. You guys know how I roll at this point. I tend to go with lists and characters that had impact on me, that made a slash or a tattoo on my brain somehow, some way. So yes, this is going to be heavy 80s influenced. I'm just letting you know up front. And like I said, I've even thought of a half a dozen more while I've been sitting here listening to these other two guys go. But let me pull it up here. And yes, our legends are the same, of course. So we go to tier A. And already a disagreement because Leslie Vernon, what the fuck, man? This fucking guy had the most original shit to come around, and a slasher, and then the bold jokes that they make against the genre are just brilliant. The cardio, the stuff. Hey, there's no wrong list. I didn't say a fucking word when you guys were saying. So I'm just going on to how I did my list.
Yes,
this character, he's a great slasher. I wish we could have got crowdfunding for the sequel or prequel, as it were. But this criminally underrated. If you've never seen Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because this is one of the most original movies I've ever seen, and I'll stand by that. Number 2, I would love to put Leslie Vernon up with the legends because that's his whole motivation is to stand next to those fucking guys. That is his motivation. That's why.
I mean, maybe if we had 50 legends listed, we could put him in there, but not with 4 or 5.
I'm just saying that's his motivation. Not that he deserves it, not that he'll ever get there, but that is his motivation, and I love that. They actually credit these guys as real killers in this movie. So. Yes. Anyways, tier A, number 2, already. One pick and we're fucking fighting here.
Yes.
Tier A, Harry Warden, My Bloody Valentine. Now, I don't even remember if I saw this guy on these other guys' list here.
No.
But, again, here's another one where broken heart, watched his people get killed when he was a boy by the real killer and screwed him up, and he comes back. But just... Canadian slasher, man, that has the blood. It's just so good. The 3D American counterpart, yeah, it's got some really cool 3D tricks and kills that they designed around the 3D. Cool. Not as fucking pure as the original, and it never will be. Harry fucking Warden, baby.
Here's something to think about, Ziggy. Half of yours aren't mentioned by either myself or the Colonel. Half.
That's all right. I mean, that's fine. We come from different schools. This is no secret. So, I mean, it's fine. So, yeah, Harry Warden. I'll move along to another one, which I really feel that this thing has a potential to stand with the great someday.
Potential.
More movie pending, of course, but we are getting one. Art the Clown from Terrifier. This is one of the things that come along, and when they're giving you have a horror fan making horror that believes in practical gore, almost 99%. There's 1% CGI in Terrifier, and it looks good. It's a carved face, like a pumpkin, and it looks great. But yeah, Art the Clown, man, the scene in Terrifier. That almost enough right there warrants it. Yeah, there's no fucking plot. There's no backstory. There's not much to it. We're going to get that in the next installment coming at us this October, Terrifier 2, and I'm sure we're going to get we've already been promised more background and the history of Art the Clown. It's going to be awesome, and he deserves to be here. I love it. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where I expect some flack. But again, to me, at the time when I saw this, nothing scared me or disturbed me more. It's Father Thomas from City of the Living Dead. The gut scene, the brain squeezings. Yeah, granted, he gets taken out with a crucifix through the groin area, but I mean, I would have loved to see more of this character too. Just more stuff, more of this. He's a one-trick pony. But he's dark and evil and hell-driven, and I just loved it. I loved the power he wielded, and just the way he could make those people fucking melt. It was fucking great, man. And I had to give some love to the Italian. What?
A one trick pony on your A tier list.
On my A tier, because that's how much of an impact that shit put on me. That's how heavy it was in '83. Finally, my last A tier, and again, just some people may not like this, but we did see this guy on some of the other lists. It is Phantasm's The Tall Man. Don't really know what he is, but there's a mission there, and he is the foreman of the body manufacturing business, whatever that is, off to the other dimension. And he was great, and he has these spike balls flying around us, drill your fucking brains out, and not in a good way. So I've always loved the Tall Man. Colonel said it already. This series as a whole, more cohesive than Halloween, more cohesive than Nightmare on Elm Street. Probably Friday the 13th if you really want to look at it, but I won't go crazy. But yeah, the fucking Tall Man. He deserves it. He deserves it. Elite, maybe not, but A tier, I'm okay with it. That is my A tier. And now we'll get a little more. I think it'll start crossing over into more reality for some of you people. I can't wait to see some of these comments. Tier B, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. First one is maybe he should have been up in the next one up, maybe one below, but due to the fact that he's played by crazy kids, yes, but older people here and there, it's more of everyone uses it. It's not that really the same person, the same killer. That's what maybe made my decision to put Ghostface on the beginning of Tier B. I like it, and I love the slasher aspects of Scream, but, the first one was really cool with the two killers. I love that, but then, they kind of ran that shit into the ground.
Yeah.
All right. This one's for Colonel.
Who's not here?
He's not here. What a shame. Because it's a Roy imposter. It's Roy Burns from Friday the 13th, Part 5. He did so much with so little. He has the most kills in any Friday the 13th movie. So, I think he warrants this, man. He had some pretty good fucking kills in it. And a good motivation. Watching Victor kill his fat son. That was, he secretly behind the scenes taking care of him. And then, of course, Victor, over a candy bar of all things, takes him out. But yeah, man, Roy fucking Burns goes on a rampage and racks up a nice hefty body count in the Friday the 13th films. You gotta have him. I stayed in the Friday the 13th universe for the next one because she started it all, man, for Friday the 13th. It was great. Pamela Voorhees. She was there. She loved her son, and she was batshit crazy. And what wouldn't you do for love? And she did it. Boy, did she did it. And then so much so she lost her head over it, and it was still glorious. We love the get her, mommy. Kill her. Don't let her get away. That shit is awesome. And she deserves it. She fucking deserves it. And, we got to have a little bit of female representation on the killers list. Goodness sakes, man. She's one of the best. And she is here. Moving on to Tier B, I had to do it because he's an original again. Billy from Black Christmas. And even Dave McCrae's expansion, It's Me, Billy, really giving a more even twisted side and actual shots of this man in his shadows of crazy. Awesome. He's a killer's killer, man. It's great. I can't wait to see. We got a little tease last week. Just some emojis on McCrae, and I just hope it is a sequel to It's Me, Billy, because we deserve this, and we want this. Next, another one for the Colonel. Colonel, the B tier is dedicated to you, buddy. I said it earlier before Roy Burns there.
If it's dedicated to me, why the fuck we got Ghostface and Billy on here?
Well, this one you'll like, though. Victor Crowley. Based, looks like Jason,
I'm
played
gonna
by
sip
Kane
some tea
Hodder.
with Colonel real quick.
Yeah, get some tea. You know what? I'm going to join you for some tea after that one. That was nice. Okay. But yeah, Victor Crowley, Colonel said it again. The gore, it's fun. It does not take itself seriously, and that is what makes it fucking work. All of them. and rumors, Adam Green, there may be we haven't seen the last of Victor Crowley yet, according to him. We'll see. We'll see. Closing out my B tier, it is from Maniac, Frank Zito. I saw this at the theater probably, at least twice, maybe more, because there just wasn't anything else to see, and we used to go every single weekend. And Maniac stuck with me. I mean, this is some vintage Savini work. That shotgun blast through the fucking windshield, one of the best. And just, it's so sick. And then the way he gets taken out at the end, it's his own mind, and he's just, it's amazing. And it's one of the grittiest, darkest slashers you can possibly see. I mean, it's fucking depressing. It's so gritty, it's good that way. But fucking Maniac. Elijah Wood's remake, it has some charm to it, man. I actually gave it a chance, and I was kind of like, well, but man, they did some things with it that are really cool. But again, like the other ones, it doesn't hold a candle to the original. Just go with the original; you'll always win.
What's up?
Did he freeze?
Did we lose Ziggy?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I guess we don't have to go on with his list.
That's awesome.
I'm kidding. What happened, Ziggy?
Earth to Ziggy. No, I thought I had it bad.
Oh man. So while he's not here, you want to make fun of anything on his list?
Yeah. He's the one that opened it up to everything, and we're just covering slashers again, minus Father Thomas.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one that didn't get the memo. So shitty part is though, sorry I kept getting up. A fuse fucking blew. I'm gonna start sweating my ass off in here.
I got you.
Where the AC unit is plugged in there.
I got you. Well, I will give him a little bit of shine. Joseph says, Roy Burns, wow, that would have never crossed my mind, but you're absolutely right.
See, I never this close to making my list, but
yeah. Well, see, that's why I was kind of looking for guide. I actually went through with some guidelines with mine. I didn't, share them with you guys, but one of them was only one villain from a particular franchise to start. Now, when we do this in 6 months, we may add Pamela or we may add Roy to one of the tiers. But to start with, I wanted one from each franchise. Or not each franchise, but the ones that got represented.
I get what you're saying.
So.
It's getting hot as fucking
yeah, and Dave Matea says, I was with you, Zag, until Father Thomas. Right.
I don't know, he wasn't teasing me for putting the Necronomicon on there.
Yeah. I don't know where he went. Oh, that might be. Nope, there's a message from him.
It's that fine Michigan internet.
Yep, Lightning Strike rebooting. Yeah, we're all in storms right now, I think. So, because I've got some in my area too. S. Michael says, I have a feeling Zag's going to be the only Italian, going to have the only Italian horror character on the list. This time, yeah, I believe he was. So, I considered the Bay of Blood when we were talking strictly slashers, but since we changed that, yeah. And I see a lot of your mentions on there, such as Frankenhooker from Patricia, Belial from Lorena, and Leprechaun from Patricia, and also
your mom from Patricia.
Yeah, Ghoulies and the Critters. No, none of. I don't think any of those made any of our list.
The funny thing was, I was joking that I was going to put Critters on my list.
You did mention it, yeah. So. Oh no. Luke says, I had a tornado touchdown in my backyard on Saturday. I got photos. It was nuts. Man, that's crazy. Too bad I didn't take out that neighbor you were telling me about across the street or whatever. That's kind of a private conversation, but fuck that guy, Luke. Tyrone says, no Dr. Satan? Dr. Satan?
No, couldn't do it.
Nope. Should I go through the rest of his list just for time's sake? Or should we wait?
Let's give him till 9. Fuck, it takes forever for his shit to boot up, though.
Yeah, it takes about 15 minutes for his shit to reboot.
So,
that way
yeah.
he can maybe summarize the C tier when he gets back in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Pennywise was close on my list, Ariel. She says Pennywise terrified tons of people, but I couldn't make room for it. Colonel?
Pennywise. Yeah, like I said, I want shit from that scared me. Can't say he justifiably should be on the list, but I didn't think to put him on mine.
Yeah. All right, what do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. Tarek says, Jesus, Crank, private conversation, but fuck that guy. If you knew Luke's neighbor, you'd agree. Joseph, hold on.
He would have been if we said strictly slashers.
Right.
He was on my original list.
I'm just saying, Joseph, hold on. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You don't know the rest of Ziggy's list. All right. Let me wrap up Ziggy's C tier list, and then he can hopefully summarize it when he gets his internet rebooted. Starting off his C tour, I hope this is the right one, because this may be the one that he was talking about. I may have gotten the wrong graphic for, but he mentioned the grabber, and I automatically assumed it was the black phone, which would be, the most modern one on his list, or any of our lists, to be honest. But
yeah,
for him to include it was kind of a shock to me. I don't know if there's another person known as the grabber, maybe an Italian movie or something like that, but I don't know.
That is a little shocking for Zach. He usually keeps his shit pretty old school.
So, I could be wrong on that one. If I am, I'll try to adjust it later. But coming up, number 2 for his C tier is Crop C. There you go, Joseph, from The Burning. Number 3, Chucky. Number 4, Dr. Decker. Next, Candyman. And Pinhead. And then the ultimate fucking curveball that is not a book, the Zuni Fetish Doll from Trilogy of Terror.
I only put that on there because he's old.
If I had thought about this, I probably would have included it somewhere, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with my list. I think my list is pretty solid for what I do, for what I think, anyway.
Like I said, I'm happy for my list for me, but for like a group, no. I knew that was going to fuck everything up.
Yeah. And Tarek says, well, I didn't expect this at all. I was way more synced on Crank's and Colonel's list. After all 3 of Ziggy's tiers, I'm thankful my tea wasn't brewed on Long Island. Very true. All right. Anyway, Ziggy should be hopefully jumping back in here shortly. We'll try to wait for him before we get into this. But, Colonel, thoughts on his tier list?
Again, there's no wrong answers. Go back to his A list.
A list?
Yeah. Like I said, I was busy testing outlets to see if it's a blown fuse or if my AC unit fucking died.
There we go.
Yeah, I can argue all those but the tall man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
could
too.
too.
Mask. I love Bloody Valentine. I love Terrifier. I love City of the Living Dead. I just want to put them that high on my list. Granted, I can see Father Thomas because, like I said, I went with what my personal foundation. So I can get that. 'Cause, I mean, on my A list, I can see where people argue in the University, the Necronomicon, because everybody's like, "Oh, it's just a fucking book." I know. So I can't shit on him too much, but fuck, that's a lot of B and C for an A, in my opinion.
Right. Well, and if you look at his, like I mentioned to him, I think you were away. 9 of his 18 picks are untouched by us. Like half of his list is completely out of left field. Yours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, never mind, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess, well, never mind, you got 11. So, crazy.
Completely genius my ass. Like I said, we would have stuck to slashers. I would have had Harry Warden on there. I would have had Cropsy. Because that's what I had. Once Pandora's box is open, I said, fuck it, it's a sandbox, I'm jumping in, I'm playing with it. I totally changed my list.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 too that are different. So, wow. All right.
We're not going to be able to compile a group list at all, I'm telling you.
I don't think there's any way we could, not without it taking like 6 hours to do.
You're goddamn right, Tarek. Tarek says Colonel swinging away. Oh, now that Zach crippled. Goddamn right. Actually, if he was here, I'd be saying the same thing. I'm sorry. Again, there's no wrong answers, but man, I know I have questionable ones on my A tier, but fuck.
Ariel says Billy from Dead Silence. No, we didn't get to that one. I could have. I need to watch that one again. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, so here's a good idea. Since I know we're not going to be able to fill this thing out. Next tier, let's go back to just slashers like we were going to do. Then paranormal, and one for each different subgenre.
Yeah, we almost need to do that. But I don't know. I don't know. Just looking at the differences in hours, I mean, yeah, I can lose some of mine. I'm willing to argue for some of mine, but there's a couple that I'm just like, no.
My elite list. The only one I'm willing to kick off was Necronomicon. And maybe Victor Crowley. I'd be maybe willing to move him down to the B list. But Pinhead, Tall Man, Universal Monsters, I'm not budging on.
No,
now,
I mean,
B list, I'm pretty open to rearranging quite a bit. Because, like I said, this is a personal list.
So you're saying you wouldn't even move them off your A tier list?
No. The Necronomicon's the only one Necronomicon, Victor Crowley, I could be persuaded to move. But Pinhead, Tall Man, and the Universal Monsters, no.
Yeah, then there we go. We can't do a compiled because that would only leave 2 other choices for Ziggy and I.
Well,
yeah.
Ziggy's going to move Pinhead up.
Oh, he's back. There he is. Hey, I wrapped up your C list.
I know, and I had
on your A list.
I had
just
good
for time.
I heard you shitting on my list. Go fuck yourself. Your list was crap. I need some Charmin. I'll be using that to wipe my ass lid. No, I'm just kidding, man. It's like you said it. There's no wrong answers here, but I told you how I approach these fucking things. It's the ones that left the biggest impact on me, and I don't know, man. There's some classics there. I mean, as far as the Zuni fetish style, man, if you're going into a death match and stuff, and shit's going to town, you gotta send in a grenade. You don't just run in there and that's your fucking grenade, man. And then you send Chucky in for some recon. You sneak around. He's smart. Then you got the rest of them to go. You know what I mean? To help you out and do your thing. That's how I would do it.
I'd rather send the Necronomicon in over the Zuni fetish doll. They've not seen arm.
You're going to read from the Necronomicon and get possessed. The Zuni fetish doll is going to get punted to the 50-yard line, bro.
Not if I send in the fake Necronomicon, they'll suck the motherfucker down into it. Be done.
All right. So are we even going to attempt this to build a tier list?
Like I said, I would look at the 3 lists, and I could just say, for my list, I would nominate these 3 or whatever from A, B, and C. One each tier.
There you go.
What?
Yeah.
Look at that. There's the tall man on the A tier right there. That's what I'm talking about. That would automatically put him on the master list on that other format I was telling you about.
Yeah, but he's the only one.
I know. Yeah. If I would pick Art the Clown, I think, for my A tier. From B, I would pick Billy from Black Christmas. And C, I would take
Art the Clown does not deserve A tier. I like Art, but he does not deserve A tier.
I disagree. Impact
absolutely
was
disagree.
Astronomically impactful in the horror genre with what he brought.
All right, let me put this.
Colonel?
I agree with you in what he brought, but
I don't care about the backstory.
I love Art the Clown. This ain't even anything backstory. If there was such, again, I love the character. The guys are fucking awesome. This is no hate towards them at all. But if there was such high demand for Art the Clown to be A tier, it wouldn't be so hard to find distribution for Terrifier 2.
Yeah, that's weak because he just.
How's that weak?
Because he could have went to any one of them. They would have wanted to give away his rights, and he would have wanted to chop up the movie their fucking way. But I'm sure he had the fucking offers. He's the one who held out to make sure he got his cut. He's the one that held out to make sure he had his length and everything in it. It had nothing to do with that. That's not a good argument.
For 2.5 years, he held out. I
think it is, and I love Art the Clown.
The film wasn't ready.
He's not A tier. He's not there yet.
He didn't even bother. He didn't even bother shopping it until it was completed. So it's only been completed for 8-9 months.
I agree because COVID put a fucking wrench in all that, like it did everything else. I don't think there's enough. I would argue with you about as much as I love the fucking guy. I don't think Art the Clown's A.
If I didn't take Art the Clown, it's Leslie Vernon from that list.
I find that a little more believable. I could do that more than I could Art the Clown.
That's the only two I'll even consider.
Hold on. Ziggy's A tier includes one movie for Leslie, one movie in a remake for Harry Warden, one movie in a short or a segment for Art the Clown, one movie for Father Thomas, and then The Tall Man, which has 5 movies.
Total movies aren't a criteria, though, for...
Total movies aren't a criteria. That's why we should have had fucking criteria, though. Asshole. Nah. Yeah.
Impact.
No. All right.
Memory.
No. There is no way we're going to agree on this, so I say just to save the DCS in general, we don't go any further.
Yeah, because the only thing I can see here is The Tall Man for A. Frank Zito for B.
He's going to go Norman or
Candyman
Hannibal. What would your A pick be, Colonel? Just for the argument, what Universal
for the
Monsters?
argument, if I had wanted a hill to fucking die on, I'm going to die on the Universal Monsters hill.
And I would back that up.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because I didn't think about the Universal Monsters, but I would back that up. None of the ones on your list, Ziggy, besides maybe The Tall Man, would I back up. Not for A tier. None. Absolutely fucking none.
That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, they didn't impact you the same way. I understand that. Totally.
They didn't impact anybody but you the same way.
ridiculous. Now that's just silly talk. Stop it.
I mean,
that's just crazy. Talk.
Well, okay. You mention Father Thomas to anybody, and they're not going to know who the hell you're talking. Like 20% of horror fans.
It depends on what circles you're in. I can see
20% of generic horror fans are going to understand who you're talking about.
So I'm wrong then?
No, I'm not saying you're wrong for A-list. Yes, yes,
okay.
You are wrong for A-list. Yes, but no, you're not wrong to include him. So,
saying, Impact. I told you that's how I'm going with this, and these are the ones I like. These are the baddies that fucked with me, and like I said, it's not like I picked all 80s shit. I got a couple of newbies right there, right in the front.
Well, see, like I said, I went with everything that impacted me too, but I thought I put at least the characters and again, I'm not saying you're wrong, in the proper tier. Like, that's
what I'm saying. That's what I was going. This is why I didn't want fucking guidelines and shit like that, because now they're in a fucking tier and they have to criteria for it, which would have been 3 days of work that we didn't have,
Well, we did have. It was just we waited until Friday to even think about it anymore.
I made like a little jump list.
Tyrone does say, I love Zag's A-list. Fair enough.
Fine, and
I love every movie on Zag's A-list.
I'm not going to lose any sleep over this or anything, but...
Oh, fuck no. Like I said, I love every movie on your A-list. I just... Other than the tall man, I'm kind of with Frank. I couldn't argue...
Categorical debate is academic since it was ruled out. What exactly is being voted on here?
What exactly is being... Can we create an A tier?
Yes, just based off like one guy, let's say, from each one of our lists. That's kind of what we're trying to get at. Kind of like if you remember that metal show, it was a show on VH1. I know probably nobody saw it, just as many people saw Father fucking Thomas. But anyway, they'd have 3 guys. They'd all have their own list, and then they would make a master list based on those 3 lists. And a lot of times the same bands or songs or album covers would appear on multiple lists, and that would dictate a better spot on the master list. That's all this was.
Right. Lorena says, can't we all just get along? No, that's why this is going to be a fun night.
And, yes, it's almost like girls, you're all pretty.
Right. And Ariel wants to know, Ziggy, can you confirm that the grabber is from Black Phone?
100%, yes.
Okay.
I was going to write Black Phone on there too, and I didn't, and I just went, well, I guess if you haven't seen it, you wouldn't know that. But yes, and we're hearing, for you people that need to see more than one performance to make them any kind of credibility, there's going to be a prequel to the Black Phone about the grabber. Hopefully. They want to do it. So, I mean, and I think that's a great idea, because this could be really, really fucking bonkers and cool.
All right. Tarek has a point. Okay, Norman Bates, the Universal Monsters, and Tall Man, that reduces each tier to 3. Oh, no. We still... No, because what we want to do is we want to build a pyramid. So, we want to have like 4 at the top, 5 for tier A, 6 for tier B. That's why we did it like this. And then 7 for tier C. That way later on...
Yeah, that. See, I was thinking just the master list would just be like almost like a top 10 comprised of all of our pyramids. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Trying
and
to do
Lorena
a pyramid off a pyramid is going to be like,
Right. And Lorena's trying to sing Kumbaya for us all. Where was that other one? I saw one... Dang it. All right, see, Joseph gets my point for Norman Bates. Norman has 4 movies plus an excellent series for 5 years. Norman Bates set the bar for slasher films to come. I would even think about putting him in the Legends category. I would too.
First of all,
I would not put Norman Bates in the Legends.
It's not that we're not getting your point. So that's not true.
Oh, don't forget the 2 original books from Robert Bloch that actually started that whole Alfred Hitchcock thing too. But
what?
Psycho and Psycho 2.
Sure.
The 2 books from Robert Bloch that.
But like I said, that's why you made a list and I appreciate how different they all were and turned out. That's great, but it just because a guy had one movie, I just think that's the wrong reason to say, well, that only goes so far. You only got one movie, got 90 minutes of footage. What? This guy's got 6 movies. That doesn't fucking matter. Half those movies are trash.
Kind of it does. Yeah, kind of it does. It does kind of matter because it means that it's had longevity.
This is why we didn't include kill counts as a factor into this, because
no, it's because you wanted to lazy it up and not have any parameters. I am fucking with you right now. I'm fucking with you.
I was against kill counts to begin with because then it's.
I know.
It's getting so anal in here. We need a fucking wet wipe to fucking clear the palate here. What the fuck?
Well,
no, it's fine though.
Ariel has a mild solution for something. Pinhead, Candyman, Art the Clown, and the Tall Man were on all 3 lists. Maybe average them to the B tier.
Well, it's just we're looking at different ways of settling this. Like Crank wants to have 18 out of the 18, and you know what I mean? I don't see it that way. I see it as a shorter, refined list based on what we picked off of our 18 each, coming up with 10 out of those that we can all agree on and stuff. But that's where we're going to turn to you guys for quite a bit of this too. But I mean, I just don't. Just the way they came out, I just don't see it ever being clean here. So with this,
I mean, I could budge and go along with that, adding Art the Clown to the B tier, and then Pinhead, Candyman, and the Tall Man all be B tier, but
2 of us have the Tall Man as A tier, though. So you would average up to an A to me.
Right.
Films like Candyman set to B tier.
Well, 2 of us have Art the Clown in the C tier, too.
True.
So, all right, I'm going to open up the document to edit this and see if it is even. Oh, wait, I actually already do have it open. Never mind. I forgot I have it over here on my other screen. So we can see what this might look like. Ah, shit. I got to open up all these.
Like I said,
Go ahead and keep talking.
Nobody is worth fighting for. I mean, if it's just we can't just take one guy from the A list and kick it over. You know what I mean? And to even get 4 of them out of that would be difficult. To do it a pyramid style. I was thinking taking 1 or 2 from each.
But see, here's what you're not necessarily thinking about. In 6 months, we're going to rearrange this.
Yeah.
And then another 6 months, we're also going to rearrange it. And we may even add a legend. And we may add 1 new character to all the pyramid down. Hell, there may be a point where we add a 4th tier, a D tier.
But my tiers could be completely 100% different in 6 months, too. That's
sure.
Also.
I still vote, instead of a master list, we do 1 for each subgenre. It would be a little bit easier, and at least that gives us a parameter to stick in.
Well, and that's kind of what we were going to do until the last fucking minute last night, and we opened it all up. And we said, nah, let's not just do slashers, let's just go on.
It's funny, most of mine would still qualify for slashers, get rid of...
most of mine would.
Tall Man.
Mine would not, because I really...
Second tier is fine. 3rd tier is fine. Those are all slash. Oh, Pinhead. And the Zuni fetish doll, of course, would be... I don't know. You got to take the chain off. Well, it's fine. These lists could stand as is, like this, and be readdressed again. And we can have time if you want to iron some concrete guidelines that they need to meet to be on said tier, film count or more other. Then yeah, fine.
I'm trying to do some work. You guys talk for a little bit.
Necronomicon picks up a knife.
Goddamn right. Necronomicon's fucking dangerous.
Tarek says, to be fair, the entire mix completely changes in 6 months. Would that be such a bad thing? Absolutely not, man. I agree. I think
in 6 months, I might drop Pearl completely out of my list. Now, did I expect Pearl to make the master list? Not at fucking all.
No.
I really didn't expect any of my C list, except maybe Ghostface and Art the Clown, to be even considered. And I'm still shocked that I'm the only one that has John Kramer.
I had him. I like these other guys a little bit. Like Cropsy and stuff like that. I always dug the Burning. Burning's one of my guilty pleasures, even though it's a slow burn. But I mean, once it gets going, fantastic. Slow burn, get it?
Yeah, see, my C tier, Art the Clown, was the only one. The rest of them I knew wouldn't stand a fucking chance in hell.
Where'd you
Like
put him?
maybe Killer Clowns because the video game gives some legs to stand on, but
that's
not
interesting.
much.
That's also another movie they could probably revisit now and redo like a legacy sequel to it. That'd be interesting. It'd have to be done completely in the same cheeseball way, though.
I'd hate for them to touch it because it wouldn't be as cheesy. Like, I just don't think the charm would be there.
They did catch some fucking magic with that one.
Sure as fuck did. Yeah, like I said, A list, Universal Monsters, I wouldn't budge on. B list,
Ariel says, I like that Wishmaster made Colonel's list. I also like that Sleepaway Camp showed up on the list. Yeah, I mean, we were looking at all of them. I mean, it was I think there was 50 of them on the one thing we were looking at, but then shit, we had to start adding all the ones that we came up with. And it was like, oh,
right.
Please.
I knew this would be tough. I knew this was going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, fuck.
Like body counts, the body counts are just, they're so, you got Jason at like 170, you got Michael Myers at 160, and then it drops to like
48
or something. Pinhead's up at like 240 or 270, depending on what you read. It's really goofy. Nobody agrees on any of the body counts, on any of the publications or any of the sites. So, I mean, it was just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of a clusterfuck when it comes to that shit in some respects.
Dave said he's got to fly. Take care, everyone. See you, Dave. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. And
later, Dave.
Fucking madness.
Well, why don't we do this? Since we're going to revisit this, I would like to do one for each for subgenre before we get back to the master list. Why don't we each pick the one we're not willing to budge on and go ahead and put it in tier A, tier B, tier C. We'll have 3 there. And then that way we can edit it, revise it when we circle back around to this. Because then maybe you guys might be able to get me to budge on Universal Monsters by then. But as of right now, Universal Monsters, in my opinion, is going to fucking stay over Billy from Black Christmas, or Chucky, or Father Thomas, or Art the Clown. Like, the impact, one to me, and the horror universe as a whole. I won't budge, but maybe,
Here's a good one, too. Tarek says, what about setting the standards and putting these tiers into public polls for a week? Why the shit? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just,
it'd probably have to be longer than a week. It'd have to be I don't know.
People have to go to our Facebook page to find it.
I got a feeling this topic's going to be haunting us on and off over the months here as they come.
Right,
I would not be surprised if 2 weeks from Saturday, when we're all feeling loose playing cards, whatever the fuck we're playing, it doesn't come back up.
What?
This topic in 2 weeks when we're all together in person.
Well, we could do it then, too. We could hash out some more shit then. Then you could be in swinging distance.
Don't go there.
I would never go there. I'm not a violent person.
I wouldn't get that worked up over this.
Oh, never. I leave all my shit on the ice or on the slam ball court.
Yeah, thanks, Dick. All All right. So, let me make sure this is working. Yep. All right. So, there we go. A tier. Norman Bates, The Tall Man, Universal Monsters. Those would be the three that we do not budge on. Right? And I'm okay with both of those additions. You know, because Tall Man was on my list, and maybe not in the A tier, but he was in the B tier, so I don't mind him moving up. And honestly, I did not think about the Universal Monsters. But are you guys are you guys that opposed to Norman Bates? Because he's not mentioned at all.
I love Norman Bates, but I just, you know,
I don't love Norman Bates, but I can't argue against him not being an A tier. It's okay. I'm not going to argue that.
He's got he's got history, man. I mean, and I love the insanity. You know, I love the fucking mom's clothes. I love the mom's voice. I love the fucking shower scene. I love the straight shot when he comes out and gets that detective and gets him to fall down the stairs. So, I mean, there's a lot to love about Psycho and Norman Bates.
And the fact that all of those movies, even though some of them were not that great, or most of those movies at least, it was played by the same guy. I mean, he stuck with it over years.
That's like the Scream argument I had. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though it's not supposed to be the same guy, even in the stories, I appreciate that. I appreciate that Jason is fucking Jason through part 4 and then 6 to whatever. You know, I appreciate Michael Myers. Yeah, I mean, those masks are kind of fucking stupid as they get going, but he's still Michael Myers. Freddy's Freddy. So yes, under that, Norman Bates is fucking. He's almost like his own tier, really.
All right, so now we have an argument to have. I want to at least get a fucking A tier done. I think we can do an A tier. One of us is going to be disappointed, probably me, but that's fine. But an A tier.
Do the A tier?
What? No, we only got 3. We still have 2 options for the A tier. So, out of Colonel, out of what's remaining in your A tier, which you already have two spots filled now, which is kind of funky.
Because I'm right and you guys are wrong.
Then hold on. You think about that for a minute. Let me move to Ziggy. Ziggy, you out of the A tier, what would be the next hill you would die on?
Tall Man's on the list already?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And seriously, think, this is an A tier killer.
But I can only pick from what I've got here, so there's literally only 2 choices for me here that I could even rest on. One is strong and one is a little less, but Art the Clown or Leslie Vernon for me, man.
Okay.
And if it's not them, that's it. That's the 2 I would like. I don't see Father Thomas making it, so I'm not going to stress that. I'm not going to push that. Harry Warden, I like Harry Warden too, but
I like Harry Warden too, but he didn't make it quite into my opinions at all, really. So, but I do appreciate the fact I appreciate his history, if that means anything.
He's got a fucking folk song written after him, for fuck's sake.
I have a. Why is that fucked up? The one that I would die for next, honestly, would be Billy from Black Christmas. That would be my pick for either 4 or 5 on the A tier. And the only reason I say that is because it was early. He was one of the trendsetters of the slasher franchise before it became, 6 years really before it started becoming like overly popular. I would say I would go with Billy from Black Christmas. The other 3 of mine I could drop down to B tier, C tier.
So I could take Billy up, switch him into my A, and drop those guys into my B, and have them for consideration. Is that what you're saying?
If you wanted to, well, yeah. I mean, if you and I wanted to agree to move Billy into the A tier, I think that would solve. But that would give Colonel like a carte blanche 5th pick.
And it's going to be the Necronomicon. No.
If that's the case, you're fucking
no, I
fired,
had to pick one. I know I have 2 on there already. I still think Pinhead out of my A tier. I can't argue guys with Billy, even though I don't like Black Christmas at all. But
history
and what it did for the horror genre, I would argue it, but I'm not going to. I get it.
Okay.
I wouldn't argue putting Pinhead up there either if that's what he was going to do. If it was Billy and Pinhead.
Billy and Pinhead. Agreed?
Agree.
Again, these things are all subjected to be switched in fucking 6 months, so I'm fine with it though for now, yes.
Audience, what do you think?
Let's see it.
Let us know. Let us know what your A tier would be. What would be in your A tier?
Look, here's Land. He's like,
and you guys talk.
Billy and Pinhead. There it is. Ariel says definitely Pinhead. Land says if I had to pick 2 from the whole A tier that didn't make the first 3, I'd say Hannibal and Pinhead. S. Michael, I don't know. I really don't like any of the Scream movies, but I still see Ghostface as an A tier. I understand that. It's tough to do these things without letting my personal taste veto everything. And that's kind of what we've been doing back and forth here. Except without the veto part. Except, Luke says, but Ghostface isn't really the killer. It's the outfit.
So I'm with Luke on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the specter of Ghostface,
It's the cheap costume. That somehow turns 5'0" girls into 6'2" killers. I still haven't figured that out.
Black Christmas too. That the shit he was saying on the phone and stuff it's disturbing. You know what I mean? For back in the early 70s, it really the kind of thing would make you go like, what the fuck? It's just creepy and just awful.
Also the social commentary on the women's rights and stuff that early, and they're talking about an abortion and how it's still sadly true today now. I think just the importance of it. Like I said, I can't argue it. I don't like it, but I can't argue it.
Well, you've been on the record for a while, though, not being a fan of that movie. So.
Well, he also said after seeing It's Me, Billy, that he had a much deeper appreciation for it, too. So
I do, but again, I think it's sad that I like It's Me, Billy more than Black Christmas. That's all credit to McCrae on that one then, so.
Joseph says, even though we didn't see the killings, we all knew that Annie Wilkes was a baby murderer. I kind of was surprised that her name didn't come up tonight. Oh, well, that's true. That's deep thinking, to include her. I mean, yeah, she definitely is disturbed, so she can fit here.
Okay. Revealing the A tier list for the DCS. Norman Bates, The Tall Man, Universal Monsters, Billy from Black Christmas, and Pinhead.
There you have it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Pinhead, man. I always think, man, he's always defeated so easy in all his movies, but then most of these motherfuckers take the fucking dirt nap at the end of their movies, so it's not a valid argument.
Yeah, the Universal Monsters, it was raw. The monster has to die at the end of the fucking movie.
Well, Norman just went to jail, and then he's not beaten, or he's not killed.
S. Michael Norman Bates belongs there, and he's second.
Goddamn right.
Clown. Tell you what, S. Michael, he will be on tier B. That I will not budge on. That is my hill. I compromised in the A tier.
Yet he's only in the C tier for... We all compromised on the A tier. Are you fucking kidding me?
I got Tall Man, and that was it.
But he's on C tier for both Colonel and I. You have him at the A tier.
Mm-hmm. So averages out to a B.
No, a high C, maybe a low B. Maybe.
Tarek says, I agreed. Art the Clown needs to be somewhere in this universe being created.
I agree, man. You know how many people I had to skip over to get Art the Clown even in my C list? Harry Warden being one of them?
One that made me puke while we were reading these lists that occurred to me, especially when you said Lestat.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody mentioned David from the Lost Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry fucking Dandridge from Fright Night. God damn it, man. I forgot that one.
I'm shocked that you guys didn't.
Oh, yeah. I was Zag. I was like, shit. Like when you said the stat, I thought it was Jerry Dandridge. I was like, God damn it. So he's a good, I mean, he'll steal your bitch.
He's my favorite vampire. I mean, yeah. But he'll be appearing on this. Next time we do this, Dandridge is there, baby. I don't know who's coming up.
I want to do each subgenre, man.
Yeah. Vampires, werewolves, what, like that?
Yeah, vampires, werewolves, slashers, paranormal, demonic. Like we do whatever.
Much shorter lists.
Yeah.
Than this. Yes.
I maybe do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. But
no, it can't be just 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm just saying, it'll make it a little bit easier.
We've done. I don't know if we should focus on doing these. I mean, we do top fives. Yeah. We can do top 5 vampires, top 5 stuff. But I don't know if we need to break the tiers down into subgenres, at least, unless we have longer to do these kind of debates.
We'll keep this master list. We'll post it up. We'll get some opinion on it, and then we will go back to this in 6 months or so, maybe a year. But it does need to be refreshed a lot, and I see this. Right. I understand it now. I'm into this now. Now that we're performing this together, I want to see this through, and I want it to be as best as possible.
But here's the thing. We're almost at 2 hours, and we've just now gotten an A tier figured out.
Yeah, as a reminder, the fuse blew. None of my outlets are working in here, and my battery life is going.
You're on battery. All right.
You didn't take a fucking lightning strike, dude. Did you guys hear that? It sounded like a bomb went off, man.
No, I didn't hear shit. I saw.
I froze.
Yeah,
and that was it.
You just froze. All right, let me look at some of these. Did we miss any of the comments? Because I couldn't focus when I was working on the.
S. Michael says not a bad tier.
I think me and Zach got most of the comments.
Yeah, we covered it.
Okay.
I'm pulling back up here. Looks like we got most of everything. Yeah, we did. Looks like all the trolls went to bed finally. So.
What did that one guy say? Or tell me
He was running his mouth. We had a little joker out there going, "Oh, what is this? Kindergarten? Okay, nice topic, guys. You might." And I didn't even read what he said. He was cracking one-liners, bebopping and scatting. Get the fuck out, buddy. He got the 5-minute timeout. He waited that. Hey, I appreciate you coming and watching, man, but now you can't say nothing unless you make a fake account and get into all that. I've got that kind of time. If you do, it'll be fun. I'll block it. You make it. I'll block it. It'll be great. All night. No, but they went away.
Oh man. Well, I'm actually shocked that we were able to even. No, I'm not. I thought we could maybe agree on an A tier, but I knew we weren't going to get much further than that. No, that's pretty solid actually. I think. Got a little bit of history. Got a little bit of longevity.
Got different backgrounds of horror.
I mean, I can't argue. 3 of my 5 are on A tier. So.
Yeah, you shut the fuck up. No, I'm okay with it. Seriously, I'm not. It's great. I understand where you guys are coming from with those guys and everything. But hey, again, I'm not gonna waffle on my choices, man. That's what I like. That's what I want to see.
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
battery saver is on. Consider plugging in your device. It is.
Oops. Oh shit.
Yep. I totally agree
down
with the
with
A
A
tier,
tier.
Joseph says. Tarek says, y'all agreed to play a game tonight. Unfortunately, it became poker, chess, and Monopoly, which was kind of amazing.
My fucking head hurts.
I knew this was going to be a crazy one.
It's still
I guess,
I mean, it's fine.
you know, I guess in a few weeks when we don't have necessarily a topic, we could just go back and finish up the B and the C tier.
I'm good with that.
Or we could just make it a quick segment. You know, I mean, next week we're busy because we got Sean coming in. So
We got Sean coming in next
The
week.
week after that,
It's Horror Hound.
Yep.
Horror
Horror
Hound
Hound
recap.
wrap up. The week after that is the Pearl review, it looks like.
Yep.
The week after that, I doubt you guys want to do this. So I wrote down the Don't Worry Darling movie review. So maybe we can do it on the 26th of September.
At least part of it, because that movie sounds like it ain't going to need 2 hours. So we could make it part of it for Tier B, and then we, no matter where we end up, we move on at 9 o'clock, and we stop and go on to the next segment. We won't drown everybody in the hate. And by the way, you don't hate.
I figured
we're totally fine with this. It's everybody's cool. It's gonna be fine, and we'll be here next week too.
Oh yeah, no, we were joking about that. I mean, I expected conversation to get heated, but
yeah,
not necessarily like angry heated, like more fucking with you. Now the fact that Colonel came in prepared with tea and everything, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was ready, man. I was fucking ready.
But no, okay. I'm happy with the A tier. Maybe on later on next month we can, fold together our B tier together, and I'll just save all these graphics for then.
We will cement Art the Clown into his place in the B tier.
In the C or the D tier.
Possibly Leslie Vernon as well, because I want them both.
If that's the case, maybe we'd add like a D tier at some point, and we think of some of these ones. Think of some of these ones
from a C tier.
Because initially it was going to be kind of like up and comers or newcomers was going to be a category, and it got to be too like, this guy's kind of in both, this guy's kind of in all three, so we just made it more vast. But yeah, it can never be perfect, but it's still good. This is going to be fine. This is going to be a good list.
All right. Well, there you go. Make it a time filler debate. Maybe. We'll see. One day it will be completed.
The face. Yep. Inked in human blood.
That's right.
Fucking right. And being Zag's flesh too.
Yeah, because that's the thing right there, Tarek, that you're bringing up. Anything that didn't get picked for the A tier now falls into B tier contenders, along with our actual B tier contenders. So,
well, see, one of my B tiers has been taken to the A tier. So,
well, one of my A tiers can drop down to the B tier based on your list with Victor Crowley.
We're not. Victor, I was going to say we're not putting the fucking Necronomicon on anything.
Where'd it go? I mean, so Leslie Vernon, Harry Warden, and Father Thomas would be up for B tier on Ziggy's list. Victor Crowley would be considered a possible B tier contender for Colonel's list. And Hannibal and Damien and Chucky would be considered be up for consideration for B tier from my list. So, yeah. See how difficult this is, guys? Without scratching each other's faces off?
Well, here's the shitty part. Our B tier, we already have two. There's no debate. If you're matching them up, Candyman and Frank Zito, boom. Those are already set in stone because two out of three.
Well, no, because we were saying if all three of us picked one for the same tier, it would be.
I thought we were doing majority rules. My apologies.
It would be automatically placed. That's why I was like, there are no automatic placements in tonight's thing. All
Well, that's
18
what I mean.
of ours are in different tiers.
What we differed on was, like I said, I meant tiers on this part, but like on a master list, I wanted 1 through 10, kind of, is what I was thinking. That way, a debate like that, where you have Candyman on 2 lists, that would get him. The argument would be, how high does it go on the list now? Yes, he's going, but where? That's where we'd be fighting.
About what?
Like 1 through 10. You know what I mean? If we were doing not just master tiers, I meant like a master list 1 through 10 based on all 3 of these lists. That's where I was going with it. So I mean, we're not doing that. That's all right. This is okay too, and that argument doesn't apply here with what Colonel's asking for. It's on 2 lists, so there's nothing to dominate it to. We still have to agree to make it a tier now. We're doing tiers.
And see, when we revisit this in a year, my thought was we add a 4th open slot for the or a 5th open slot, excuse me, in the Legends category, and then we rearrange A, B, and C, and then even add some new ones there. You know? That may be where the Grabber can sneak up into the C tier, or Pearl can get up into the C tier at some point.
Well, like I said, I don't want to turn it into a Sweet 64 tournament or anything like that. I mean, you know, that's not what we don't do that here.
Some of them are going to be solidified, but you know, like next August, if we start talking about this again and doing something with the once we get the full tier list figured out, once we have that done, and then we start
will be cooler.
With
yes, this will be cooler once it is a solid entity.
Right, because then we debate on, okay, who out of this list moves up to legend status,
if any.
No, I say there is at least 2 that could.
Universal Monsters and Norman Bates. I already know that's what you're thinking.
Yeah. 2 of those could easily move up to legend status. And then that would give another spot for the A tier, which could be any of the ones that are in our B tier.
We're going to have to put the Hammer fucking films in here, too, to counter out the Universal guys. There's a whole lot of strength over there, too.
There is, but no Universal Monsters, no Hammer films, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying.
And I love the Hammer films. I like all of them. Even the fucking Captain Chrono's Vampire Hunter. I like the shitty ones, too. So...
Joseph asked, just curious, after all you guys put the list out, is there anybody else that you guys could think of now that should be somewhere on this list that wasn't mentioned? Well, Ziggy already said Jerry Dandridge.
It's killing me that I forgot that. That will be remedied the next time we do this.
You know, I think the Xenomorph should be somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know where. But
not the Predator though.
No. But it should be somewhere.
Yes. Rawhead Rex and Pumpkinhead. You know, we got Pumpkinhead at least, you know. I was also going to put Raymar from One Dark Night because he was a fucking interesting character. You know, it's someone I was affected by as a youth and shit. But I mean, again, he was a killer, and then he became a supernatural killer. So I mean, it was a little vague, and less people know him than Father Thomas. So.
Oh, damn! You took the words right the fuck out of my mouth.
See, I'm okay with it. The beauty of it all is I don't give a fuck if anybody's heard of Father Thomas or fucking Raymar. I love them both.
I know. All right. Well, there we have it, folks. We couldn't agree on much tonight, but we did agree on the legends, of course. Jason, Michael, Freddy, and Leatherface. And then we decided on an A tier. Norman Bates, the Tall Man, Universal Monsters, Black Christmas, Billy, and Pinhead. So, it was a fun night. Colonel, send them up.
I want to make it quick because I keep getting warnings like, hey, you might want to plug this in. So don't get sick. Wash your dick. Don't smell like a Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve. Let's see if I make it through the outro. Yeah.
Ziggy?
Next week, we got Sean in here. He's the head honcho over the Sean Clark, does the booking for a lot of these cons. So our topic is going to be, and we're doing this, right, before I say it?
I haven't mentioned it to him, but I will. It shouldn't be hard. Yeah, it shouldn't be hard for him.
Since we go to these cons, and he is in the business like this, we are going to book our top 5 guests, living or dead, for our fantasy cons. So the 3 of us, and hopefully Sean will get involved, which I know he will. He's going to have some great answers. And we're going to try to get him to show us some of his memorabilia collection. This guy's got some stuff, guys.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some treasures. You think these action figures are anything? No. This guy's got some actual screen-used shit, some big-time stuff. But that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we hit Whorehound in 2 weeks. Coming down, the Colonel, Red Crank, and myself, all in the same room again. And who knows, we may get into a fisticuffs as soon as we meet and square this shit out from tonight, man, because I'm fucking pissed. All right?
I'm making a shirt right now that says Art the Clown is C tier. Maximum.
Yep, it's going to say Midsummer will never be on this list.
It wasn't, was it?
It wasn't. But that's it. Let's go. More fun coming your way and some live stuff. I've got 2 panels coming at you, a Dawn of the Dead reunion, 45th anniversary, and Alice Krieger talking about her career, Star Trek, a lot of that, and Ghost Story, and even some Chariots of Fire comes up along the way in the panels. All coming at you soon from Death Curse Society, and members will get it first. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week with Sean Clark. I don't have anything else to add except thanks to our members one last time: Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone, and our Crazy Ralphs, Raymond, our camp counselors, Stacy, Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave.
I don't think it's going to work, but I'll try it.
Thank you all for watching. We lost the Colonel, so good time to say goodnight. So, say goodnight, Ziggy.
Good night, Ziggy.
Woo!
Rock and roll!
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Hello, creeps. It's your old pal John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're watching the Death Curse Society.